participate into this discussion. Okay, so since our course is on compilers, and you know that and you are already having an experience with me, that the first session which we all every time start with is brush up sessions. So welcome to this brush up sessions. Here we will not actually starting the course. We will be starting the course content from tomorrow in between 11:15 to 12:15. Okay, so the today's session is exclusively dedicated towards brush up sessions. Okay, so let's start up with this. I am going to put some of the questions before you all, and I think you all should participate into this particular interaction. Uh, so the first question with this which comes into my mind as far as this compiler design is concerned, compiler is preferably a software. So what is software? What do you understand by software? You can unmute yourself and participate in this particular discussion. Anyone of you can say something on this first question? What is software?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Software is the program set of the program, and it will be follow the sequence of any achieve the goals.
Okay, so programs are nothing but uh, programs are nothing but what is software? Software is a set of programs, and these programs perform well-defined operations. So you need to define certain operations, well-defined operations, and your software will do that particular work, right? And software is basically set of or collection of programs altogether. Nice, thank you. Okay, what are the different types of software and what are their examples? If you can share. Anybody else? Anyone else? You can mute yourself now. If you want to answer the second question, you can answer the second question. What are different types of softwares? Can anybody?
System system software and application software.
Okay, what are the examples?
System software is the Windows, and application software is like as any application uh,
Okay.
like Word.
Hmm.
Mm,
Okay, what is difference between an application software and a system software? Let's try to understand. Anybody knows? Anyone else? Who has answered this question? Siddharth, I think, right?
yes, sir.
Siddharth, please mute yourself so that second student can
Okay.
unmute and they can participate. So I wanted to understand the basic difference between application software and system software.
Good
Yes.
morning, sir.
Good morning, Amani.
Software is two types, system software and application software.
Hmm.
System like operating system is come direct when we install the operating system, and
Hmm.
application program it is by user when we install any program we need.
Okay, so see, system software. Thank you, Amani. Please mute yourself. Um, uh, System software are particularly a software which directly interacts with the hardware of the system, and that softwares are particularly useful for the management of the resources. Right? To just to give an example, operating system. Siddharth has said that Windows. Okay, Windows is system software. That's right, but the class of that system software is that class of that Windows is operating system. So operating system are the systems of is the system software which is interacting with the hardware of the computer and responsible for management of all the resources that are required. And you know, in operating system subject itself, your teacher might have told you the kind of resources that are being managed by the operating system. So those resources are being managed by the system software called operating system, whereas the application software are installed on top of the system software. Means to manage all your application software, what you need is system software. So application software, to just to give you an example, application software, you can take it as uh, Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office is one of the application software. In that application software, every application software is designed for a particular purpose. Say, for example, Microsoft Word is editing tool, whereas Microsoft PowerPoint is presenting tool. So editing tool and presenting tool both are different. Their purposes are different. At the same time, if you see Microsoft Excel, the purpose of Microsoft Excel is for computational purpose. So Microsoft Excel has defined application, PowerPoint has defined application, and Word has defined application. So to manage all those three applications, what you need a system software, right? So all your application softwares are being installed onto your system software, and underlying system software will take care of the functioning of these. Okay, the next question which comes in front of us is what is language and what are its classes? Okay, here language means a programming language. Okay, so what is the language? Language, I'll just take this question. What is language? Language is a medium of communication of a user and the computer. So you can interact with the computer by means of a language. So this is important. Okay, so language is a medium of communication, and to interact with the computer, you need to have a language. So what are its classes? What are its type? Anybody?
Yes, there is two type of language: high level language and low level language, I think.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Amani. So there are two types of languages. One is called high level language and low level language. No, there are three classes of it. One is high level language, middle level language, and machine level language. What do you understand by high level language? Say, for example, the programming platform right now, today, what we are using is on high level languages, where the statements are like English like languages, English like statements we are putting and we are using it. Like, say, for example, if A is greater than B. So if A is greater than B, it is the same way that we are using it, right? So A greater than B greater is the operator that we are putting. So it is like high level language. Okay, then there comes a middle level language, which is like which is particularly used into some defined keyword fashion, like mnemonic fashions. So middle level language is always an assembly level language which we are going to use, and at the end, that is machine level language, that is the object code that, or the code which is being understood directly by machine. So you need a transformation from high level language where you are working to a machine level language. So for that particular transformation, you need to go across number of stages. Different stages are there. So here in this particular mechanism, we in this particular course, we will be studying how and how this transformation, various transformations are being done at the machine side. So for that purpose, we are learning compilers. So high level language, you can take an example. Middle level language, the best example is assembly level language, and for machine level language, the best example is machine code, right? So if you are good at C++, you know that there is object code, right? So object code is nothing but machine level, machine readable code, and which is being parsed by machine, and respective action is being taken up. Okay, so let's go with this. Okay, now this session, this particular question, you are almost aware, and since your graduation, you are learning this particular terms. Learning these terms means you are aware with these terms. I don't know the level of awareness, but you must be knowing these terms. Okay, can anybody handles this question? Siddharth has done, Amani has done. I wanted to understand the answer of the first question from some other student. Yes. Okay. So here in this session, like compiler, interpreter, and assembler, these three things we are going to work with. Let's see now. Yeah. Tell me, who is going to answer? What is compiler?
Compile the program
Hmm.
directly.
Yes, Vaibhav. Compiler compiles the whole program directly. Okay. What is it? What about interpreter?
It compile the program line by line.
Okay.
Assemble it converts code into assembly language.
Okay. Fine. So any other student who can wanted to share? Yes. Okay. Okay. Compiler translates the code. Pawan is saying that compiler translates the code of one form of language to other form of language. Okay. And Siddharth has also said something that interpreter utilizes the CPU. No doubt, so without using a CPU, you cannot translate, right? So CPU is being used every case. In every case, it is being used. Yeah. Anything else? Anything you wanted to say? Yeah. No, you don't want to say anything. Okay. Let's see now. Yes. Okay, so what is compiler? Compiler is a set of program. It translates whole code written in one programming language to another language that is called target language at once. So very rightly said by Vaibhav that it converts a high level language program into low level language program at once. So the whole collection of all those statements, sequentially written statements, are being converted into one particular code at once. And if at all, while translating a program into a machine code, if your compiler finds some error, it will be flashed at once only. Okay, so that is fine with compiler. Next is what about interpreter? Interpreter is again a set of computer program. It translates whole code written in one programming language into another language line by line. So it does the whole work, but the translation will be line by line. So it will translate one line after another, right? So and it for this it will goes to whole program. So as far as as far as comparing is concerned, the error detection at once will be there in the compiler, but error detection will be checked line by line into interpreter. So means if you the time you press enter by writing a line or instruction, you can say immediately it checks for its construction. If system finds some error into it, it will be immediately flash it out, so that you can handle those errors properly. Okay, so this is the difference between compiler and interpreter. And what about assembler? Assembler is a program. It converts assembly level language into machine code, and you must be aware with your assembly level language program here, right? Just recall your concepts of undergraduate studies where you have worked with assembler. So assembler is also a program. It converts assembly level language into machine code. So basically assembly level language is like, say, with mnemonics it is being defined. So there are level of instructions, means the instructions that are being passed by the processor. So those instructions are being presented into assembly level languages. Okay, then next questions which comes here is, what is loader, what is linker, and what are the data structures that are used by the system softwares. So this is an important part of discussion, and we are at the concluding points of the discussion now. So what is loader, what is linker, and what are the data structure? So these three questions are there. We'll have a quick interaction with these three instructions, and we'll understand. Okay, anybody want to say on this? What is loader? Can anybody answer this? Okay, what about linker? Loader is part of OS. Ajay, is part of operating system. Okay, but what it, yes, it's part of operating system or system software, but what is the function of it? So interesting is function. What is the function of it? What is function of loader and what is function of linker? Okay. Okay, without wasting time, let's see. I'm doing this as a brush up session, so I'm sharing with this thing to you. Okay, so let's see. Okay, what is loader? What is loader? Loader is a part of operating system and responsible for loading the libraries into a primary memory and prepares them for the execution. So for example, in case of C, C++, what you write, that hash includes something, right? So the libraries has to be linked, and who is going to link by that? That is called linker. Linker is a program in the system. It helps to link the module of a program into a single object file. So loader and linker both are closely connected together, and they are appreciating one another by performing certain defined task of loading the libraries onto a primary memory, as well as linking those libraries or a program segment to other object file. So loader and linker is playing a vital role into a system software. Okay, so this is the case. Now, what are the data structures that can be used by the system software? Any idea? Yes, what are the data structures that are used by the system software? Any answer? What are the data structures that are used by the system software? Array, okay. Siddharth is saying array. Siddharth is saying stack. Any other? Queues, okay. Trees, okay. You can write graphs also, Siddharth. There will not be any issues. So stack, arrays, queues, graphs, and likewise. Okay. See, we are learning this compiler as a subject. So here there are several things that you need to understand, right? And that is like without data structures, things cannot be completed. So the data structures that we are going to have is symbol table. We wanted to use hash. We are in need of trees. We are in need of graphs, right? So other than that, whatever the basic data structures are concerned, they are also being used, right? So these are the data structures which we are going to use into our mechanism. So as far as prerequisite for this course is concerned, you must be able to understand some of the concept related to the system softwares. You must have a good exposure of the data structures, and you must have a good exposure of the programming system. Okay, so this is the end. That's it. Thank you. So this session, this PDF file is now available into your classroom, so you can see that this file is already available. So, and it is being shared within your classroom itself. So you can take, you just click onto a streams, you will find that the once you refresh the stream, this file is also being available to you. Okay, so what are the prerequisites that are required for this particular class? The first prerequisite is you must understand, you must have some of the operating system, some of the system software concepts with you. This is one. You must have a programming concept with you. This is second. And you must have a data structure concept with you as far as this understanding is concerned. You may require some of the mathematics related, discrete mathematical structure related operation. I'll let you know like whenever it is required, and how you can, and what are the requirements for it, and how you're going to prepare that. So with this note, I am going to conclude this particular session. The links, the PDFs are already available into a classroom, so you can check those PDF. Whatever you wanted to interact with me, wish to write to me, you can write to me onto a classroom. The next, there is a reminder that tomorrow we will be meeting at 11:15 to 12:15. So since this is an online classroom, I am going to use the traditional board mechanism also. Traditional board mechanism means I am going to use whiteboard and marker, and going to deliver some content onto the board also. So I'll make sure that that is being visible. So what you can do is that you pin up my video. Pin up my video means pin up my screen, so that it will be, you will be getting it onto a full screen mode. So the time we are interacting with the whiteboard, you pin up the screen so that you will get that content also. So, and the same content will be available to you into your videos also. So for that, okay, anything that you wanted to suggest me as far as this mode is considered, I can spend a minute on it. Otherwise, we'll stop here. Any suggestions for the session? Yes. Okay. No suggestion. Everything is going well. Poll is not required, Siddharth here. Poll is not required. Yes, you need to go for your test also. That itself your poll, that whether you are able to understand or not. Okay. So polls are here, are not required. Polls are there in this facility. Using a poll facility is into Zoom, but we are not using Zoom, so we are using this classroom here. Okay, so thank you, students, for your patience listening. If you have any questions as such, you can drop those questions to me onto the classroom, so that I can answer those questions. Thank you very much.